Hello, this is Einar from Unity Center, and today we have Gregor Arzt with us from Germany. He is a PhD in literature and different other fields, and also something they call geomanty. Can you say it in English?
Geomancy.
Geomanty. It's something they're looking at electromagnetic fields in different.
It's in general looking and researching and perceiving the earth energies.
Okay.
And looking for the best places to live and
Yes.
healing places which are disturbed.
By electromagnetism?
No, by electromagnetism is a special theme, but normally the places are disturbed because people made things that were not in tune with the laws of life.
Okay.
So if someone was killed at a place.
Oh, these kind of
like
things.
that,
Yeah,
yes.
that's super interesting.
Yes.
I was just going to tell it. We're going to talk a little bit about green technology, how wind and solar power affects the earth. We're going to talk about the bees and how they're going to help us with the new earth. We're going to talk about the earth spiritual development, and I think that's the good one. Can we start with that one, the earth spiritual development?
We can.
That's not many people know anything about it.
Yes.
And what? Yeah, can you just say something? I don't know much myself.
Yes. At school we have learned that life is only capsuled into plants, animals and human beings on earth. But in every spiritual tradition, in every culture in the past, people knew that also the earth as a whole is alive.
Mm.
And there she's a woman. And the Greeks called her Gaia, the old goddess of the earth, and she is conscious about her body, the earth, and she's also a guider and a companion of the development of the human people, of mankind, and we learned at school that the minerals and the metals, that they are not alive. But this is not true. In every stone and in every item, and also in every technical item, there is a kind of soul.
Okay.
And it is possible to communicate with stones, and this is every Indian knows this, but we have forgotten it in our culture, and we made a system, a philosophical and a practical technology system of dealing with the earth and the materials as if there would not be life in it.
Yes.
And if you start to communicate with the earth and with parts of the earth and materia, then you can find a teacher for the knowledge of the reason why mankind and earth do a development together.
All the Indians are saying this.
Yes.
Yes. We have interviewed some Indians here, and everybody say the same thing.
Yes.
So now the Western people are starting to understand this.
Yes, but there's also an own tradition in our Western civilization, which is also in contact with this knowledge, and it is not only shamanism from the edges of Europe, which is still alive in northern Norway or in Siberia. But there is also a knowledge in the past which was very common in the Neolithic age, when people raised up stone circles, and stone alleys, and this was in our days. We understand it as a kind of acupuncture of the body of the earth, to rise the earth energies, because those acupuncture needles, big needles as stones, have are in resonance to the planetary and solar and the cosmic powers of the stars.
So the humans has made the Earth, has helped the Earth to get more energy from the cosmic.
Yes, and also they help themselves to get better places to live.
Okay.
Because if there's much vitality in the Earth's systems, then it's also much vitality in the people.
Yes.
And this is a long development, and now there's a point of challenge, of change.
Yes, what everybody's talking about changing times.
Yes.
How do you see it?
Yeah. In geomancy, we are healers for wounded places. When the earth energy is wounded, and when the soul of the earth is wounded. But we are also researchers. We try to develop more abilities for perceiving the energies of the earth, and it is something that we can see with our inner eyes, and we can feel it, and we can also explore it by dowsing with the divination rod.
Can you explain that?
Dowsing is I understand it as a kind of applied kinesiology. Yeah, that we use some metal or wooden.
Vad heter det på norsk? Kvist?
Ønskekvist.
Ønskekvist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cirkelvinkler.
Yes, and it's not only useful for water sources to look for, it's also useful to explore the life energy of the earth. It's also possible, but it's also possible to feel it with your hands, or to learn to see it with your inner eyes.
But can you talk with the earth?
Yes, I can, because there's a big conscious of the earth. It's Mother Earth. It's possible to talk with her, but it's also possible to talk with her servants, let me say, or her smaller colleagues.
Okay, and that is?
And they are, we call them the elementary beings.
Yeah, I think we know what
in the fractions of the elements. So they are the beings of the water, and the beings of the earth, and the beings of the fire, and the beings of the wind. And the smaller the places you concentrate on, the more little is the elementary being that is caring for this place. But if you try to get into contact with the conscious of a whole town or a country, then you can also meet very, very high developed elementary beings. They are like angels. I can give you one example for this. And two springtimes ago, there was a big flood. Yeah, all the rivers were overflowing in Middle Europe, where I live, and it was a quite unusual time, and it was a very big flood, so that many places had to be evacuated. And then we tried to get in contact with the highest water elementary being of Central Europe, and to ask them what is happening here, why does it happen? And they told us, yes, we did it, because the flowing water, this is the power of creation and the power of creativity, and this is also the power in your second chakra, in your sexual chakra.
Okay.
And if we regard what you are doing with your sexuality, you do it in your homes, you close the door and say, it's my private joy to do it. And you are not connected to the nature power who do the same in the public for everybody.
So it was a message.
It was a message. They said you must change your sexuality. It is a misuse of nature powers, what you do, if you hide it. Yeah?
Oh, that's new. What do you have to do it in public?
No, I don't know. I have no solution for it. But they showed us the problem, and we have to create new solutions for this. And a second thing, which is very much related to this, are the changes in the Earth energy, which started at the end of the Maya calendar. Many people were in fear. Oh, the world will end at this date, and I didn't believe that, because the gods and the goddess, they don't want to smash away the earth. It is very the earth is very is a treasure, and they formed it, and so they are the architects and the creators of this treasure, and no creator of a treasure smashed this away. And so we did not expect the end of the world, but we expected some change in earth energies, and we did really recognize them afterwards.
Okay.
And the change was that we can describe very different levels of earth energy systems, and every earth energy system is related to the energy system of the human body. And so the earth as a whole has a big system of chakras, and also smaller places have a complete system of chakras connected to the human body. And it is like the Russian babushka, the doll in the doll.
Yeah.
And before the end of the Maya calendar, the smallest doll we could describe was the doll of a flat where a family is living. And after this date, we cannot really describe this little doll again, because the next doll upwards, it is the house and the garden. This is now the system which is the smallest system, which is given energy by the natural spirits, because they say, and this is connected to the theme of sexuality and the flood, they say, we have supported your private development for a long time, and we have support. If you said there is no God and there is no nature spirit, we supported you also and gave you life energy. But now we stop to give energy in a private system which says and thinks, I can close the door of my home and I will not be interested and connected to the outer world and not connected to the nature powers in the garden. And the nature spirits are now interested to look into our living rooms and to ask us, what are you doing there? Are you researching for us? Are you thinking on nature powers or not? Will you be in 1,000 years also in a philosophical system that excludes the nature powers and the godness and things like that? Or is there a change? And now the time has come that we start to diminish the supporting of the private system of doing as if there is no life in the outer world.
That sounds
this is
understandable.
The change. Yes.
Yes.
I think lots of people could misunderstand that they were very occupied about sexuality. I think it's more that they're telling us the floods in Germany. They're telling us that we need to get out of the box and we have to talk with the earth and help Mother Earth to develop.
In the Neolithical time, it was common to make sexual rituals on the fields to fertilize.
Okay, yeah.
But we must not do this again. Now we must try to understand the message. And the message is, I think, we must understand that the powers of our body is a power of nature.
Yes.
And if we don't start to research this, if we say there is no spirituality in nature, it's only a mechanism, then we also misuse the powers of our body, and it's a big treasure, and we do know very, very little about it, and we must totally change the life sciences and start to understand and to perceive really what happens in the trees and in the animals and in our body. It is not only chemistry.
But what can normal Western people do to help? We of course we listen to the Indians. We have to help Mother Earth, and we throw our garbage in different boxes, yes, and all these things. But what other things can we do?
Yes, we can start to meditate in a different way.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is in order to meditate to look for yourself. Who am I? And what is my way? But we can also meditate and concentrate on natural things, like we can meditate with trees, we can meditate with stones, and we can concentrate on a stone and say, who are you? Can I get in contact with you? And if you change meditation in this direction, then you start to get a researcher on natural spirits.
Yeah.
And then you can also meditate together with other people, because our experience in geomancy is that if you meditate together on one item of nature, then the spiritual world gives very much support in it. For example, I myself mostly do not meditate alone. I meditate with my pupil together, and we understand ourselves as people who exercise, and while we exercise we also make exploration and a new kind of science. And
yes, that's super interesting. You gave a very good example.
Yes.
And the main thing here, it sounds for me, is that you give Mother Earth attention.
And love.
And love.
Love
yes.
is very...
Yes.
Yes,
Fantastic.
also love.
Yeah.
And we get love from her.
Yeah.
Yes. We are open in every direction. We get in contact with the celestial powers of the angels, and also in contact with the terrestrial powers of the earth. And it's all the same message. The message is try to care for the treasure of life and try to understand it and make research on it.
Very good. Now that's a very nice way to say it. And now I want to go over a little bit over to you have done some research on wind power, solar power,
yes,
and how this is reacting to Mother Earth.
Yes.
Because everybody says, okay, we're going away from oil power, atomic power, and we're very good people. We're going to use solar power and everything.
Yes.
But it's not perfect, is it?
No, it isn't perfect, because the product of the solar panels and the windcraft machines is electricity.
Yes.
And electricity is if you can also meditate on electricity, and we do it also. Not only on natural things like an apple. We can also meditate. We can meditate on everything, and so we can ask the spiritual world, "What is this? What is electricity?" And if you look in physics, you don't really get a real explanation of what it is. They not really know what it is. And if you ask in a spiritual way, what is this? Then you get the answer, this is a kind of misuse of life powers.
Okay.
Yeah. So we think if a generator is producing electricity, then we have some physical some explanations of physics. But if we observe it in a spiritual way, then we can see that not only, for example, in windcraft, the mechanical powers of the wind are converted to electricity. No. There are also the vital powers of nature which are converted into electricity.
Okay, and that's not good.
No, because it's your vitality and mine.
So using up the vital energy of the earth.
Yes,
Oh, wow,
we do.
that's
We
a
can
new one.
observe.
I never heard that one before.
Yes, if you can try to observe it yourself. If you take any electronical device and you start to concentrate on it and to ask what does happen in electricity in this item, and then you make the experience that you are getting tired, and this is because it is consuming also your vitality power.
By using a telephone and using computer.
Anything electronic.
Okay. Is that maybe why everybody is so tired these days?
Yes, we are.
We're using up the vital energy of the earth.
We are a very tired society. We are very quick in thinking and in a way of science and making combinations with our ratio, but our physical powers are diminishing more and more and more in the mainstream.
Wow.
Not in sports, but in the mainstream. Yeah, people are walking less every year.
Yes.
They are losing their legs. Yeah. And
But what is sun energy and solar power and wind energy? Is that better than atomic energy?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It is better.
Yeah, but it's not the best solution.
No, it's not the
What
best.
is your alternative?
Yes. And now, before I said this, I must contribute some hints for dealing better with solar energy and windcraft.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that we are, in a moral way, responsible for for that what we do with the energy, which is made by wind energy. What do we do with the electricity? We are responsible for it, and the spiritual world is watching us, what we do with it. And if we are dealing in a responsible way with it, then it is not so bad for the vital powers. But it is not good and it is very important that we thank to the natural beings that are serving for us in the technological systems, because also in technology there are elementary beings which are forced to serve in it. Yeah? And so if we use a computer or a handy a mobile phone, then we have to thank the spirits who are giving us the ability to use the vital powers in electricity.
Wow, this
It's very
is
strange.
Now I always, when we interview the Indians, they always say it's very simple. I have to take care of Mother Earth. You know? But you come with the Western side of this, and now it's more understandable.
Yeah. Yes.
Fantastic.
That's what we are inventing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made my PhD, so I understand how to make research. But I want to make research on life and what life really is.
Mm.
And I have a deep relationship to the earth, to Mother Earth. I had it when I was a child. And I wanted to explore the earth all the time. And I made, when I was a child, I started to travel alone. Yeah, when I was 20, I had explored complete Central Europe by bicycle.
Mm.
And I was also in Oslo when I
Yeah.
was 22 and went to Helsingfors, Helsinki, and to Sonnefjord and Jotunheim, and so I know much places of the earth, and all the time I wanted to care for the earth, and I feel responsible. How does she feel?
Mm.
And if people wounded the earth by exploiting the earth, then I wanted to give her some kind of medicine. And when I was a young child and a boy and a student, I did not know how to do.
Mm.
But now I know how to do, to heal the earth.
So you can say it again. It's to heal the earth is to give the earth attention and thank and send love to the earth, and thank you for electricity. Thank you for my telephone.
Yes.
And thank all elementaries about
this is very important. But the most important thing is that it is our task to understand the real message of every being in the creation, so that all the let me say astral powers which are covered in stones, in plants, in the technologies we make, they want to be discovered, and they want to develop themselves together with us to a new form of civilization.
I get frysning, yeah. Wow, fantastic.
A new form of civilization on the planet.
Yes.
Yeah, so that also the angels start thinking. I must tell you, I was with a group at Würzburg.
Yeah.
Würzburg is a town in South Germany, and it is full of churches. It is a Catholic town, and we were in a big church in the basement, in the old basement, and there was one pupil of mine observed in our pictures, and had also a discourse with angels. And there were angels. They pulled their cheeks on the ground, on the rocks, and they wanted to know how does it feel if I am like a human being, to feel the materia. And they had joy, and they had a very spiritual feeling of the materia, and this is completely new in the creation. And there were other angels standing around, and they said, "Oh, I think it is not allowed to do this."
No.
But they did not stop.
Mm.
They said this is a new stage of coming closer to the earth, and they said we could imagine to form a mixed population of angels and human beings in future. And I asked them, my pupil asked them, what are the conditions for this? And they said, if you clear your hearts,
Yes.
and if there's light in your hearts and not so much darkness like now, then we can start.
the real thing now is to get out this message, so everybody knows about these things. But how do we get the message out to the normal people that doesn't believe in anything?
Yes.
How is it in Germany now? Are people waking up?
Yeah. Normally, it's so that I feel in many people. I feel if I'm somewhere on a meeting somewhere. Not on a spiritual meeting, somewhere on a family meeting or meeting on politics or things like that. And if people ask me, what is your profession? And I say some sentences. I start to say I'm working with the spirit of the earth. Then some people are shaking their heads.
Yes.
And other people are very, very touched in their heart. And then I feel and I see that there is a Sehnsucht.
Desire.
There's a desire for it in many people.
Yes.
And we are starting to develop a new language for it, because it is not only feeling, it's not only love for nature. Many people love nature. But we are starting also a method of getting into the ability of perceiving the earth energies, and also a method of understanding the results of the research. And this is new, completely new. And we are not...
Is it any more people, is it especially your group looking at these things, or are there other groups?
No, they are... we say many ways are leading to Rome, and and we are working together with people who are close by, but with different methods. So there are people who are closely watching the life forces, for example, to develop new kinds of testing the quality of alimentaria, of food, and so they start to meditate on different, let me say, carrots, and they get the ability to see the etherical field around the carrots, and then they can make quality research, not only quantity research by chemistry. They can also make an energy
super interesting
research, and they can so there are different unions of organic producers in Germany, and so they can compare their products.
Yes, but one little bit I'm interested in, do they compare with GMO products, gene manipulated carrots? What do they see in...
Yes, what everything.
Can you say anything about that? What does GMO, is that very bad for us? Or?
Yes, it is, because the biochemical change of the genetic structure, the genetic code of a plant or animal is a kind of playing the creator on the wrong level. Yeah, because there's a long history of developing seeds and of breeding, and there's very much knowledge in it, and very much kind of breeding and make seeds for special local conditions, and this is very important, and because there's a big variety of products,
yes.
And you can choose and take the best for your needs, and this is not possible with genetic products in this way, and it's also it's very unspiritual to do it.
Yes, but what does it do with your body, with Mother Earth? And
yes, like the life forces are are smaller in it, and if you ask what is the reason of the Earth evolution of the Earth and human beings, so the reason is to get more and more individual, to find yourself, to find and the individual is the most important aim of development, and not only for every human being, also for every being in the creation, and also the animals and the plants and the stones. Every being wants to develop more and more individual. So,
but the GMO things, they don't develop anything. I'm a little bit occupied about what, how wrong is it to use GMO, because now it looks like it's coming into Europe.
yeah, we don't need it.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
But why? But it's coming. We have to. What is the big problem with it?
yes, we shouldn't use it because it is not connected to the project of individuality. It
So you don't get. When you eat vegetables, you get Mother Earth's energy into you, but the GMO things, you don't get any extra energy at all.
no.
I think you're running out of time. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to talk a little bit about the bees.
Yes.
You're going to. We're going to have a workshop in in the springtime
Next year.
about bees and how they work. But you would.
I know in general on geomancy and healing work,
Yeah.
also in Oslo.
And the bees are going to help Mother Earth to make a new Earth.
Yes.
So how do you explain that?
Yes.
Why the bees?
Also in normal research, in average research, we know that the bees are very complicated and very high organized, like a state, and there is very much wisdom in this level of organization, and we can perceive one people of the bees like one individual if we start to observe it in a spiritual way, yeah, with the higher senses. And the bees are caring for the earth. They are workers in the vital powers of the earth. Normally we learn at school that a bee is flying some way to a flower to drink some nectar and to bring back some seeds, some pollen of the and she doesn't know that they are the pollens on the legs, and so this is what, and we know, okay, they are very they work and work and work all the time. So, but what we do not know is the same time the bee is flying to the flower, the whole people of the bees, there are thousands of bees, are deeply connected to the terrestrial energetic powers, and they are like cleaners in these powers, and they are also guards of the deeper levels of the earth. In the deeper levels of the earth we can locate the shadows of our soul.
Okay.
Not in the center of the earth, like in the Catholic picture of the hell. That does not exist. If we concentrate on the middle of the earth, we can perceive something like sunlight. It is a high spiritual level in the heart of the earth. But in the
intermediate.
No, in Rinde.
Aha.
In the skin of the earth.
Okay,
in the inner levels of the skin, some hundreds meters until, let me say, 10 kilometers. There is in the life structures of the body of the Earth, there are the shadow powers of mankind. And in this level, the bees are like guardians. And they have a special task there. If you had quarrels with someone, and you said, I do not want to talk to him or her any time in future. I don't want to see him again. I hate him. The connection, the relationship is ended forever. If you say this is like a poison for nature, because love is blocked. The flow of love is blocked. And then you send this message, I do not want, is sent into the skin of the earth, and there it is like in an archive. And the bees are keeping it alive, so that it is not completely dead. So that in your message is a nucleus of life and love. And this is what they keep warm. And if you decide at some time in future to change your mind, to say, I will go and shake his hand and say, verzeih mir.
Forgive me.
Forgive me. Then all the life forces are not completely back, they are doubled.
Yes.
And in this area, the bees are making something like nursing our...
Nourishing.
Nursing, they are like
nursing.
nurses.
Okay.
They are like nurses. If our feelings, or if our love is in disease, is in the hospital. If the picture for the flowing of our love is your earnest disease, then they are our nurses.
Yes.
This is what I can perceive.
It's fantastic. But we have to cut off. You're going to another lecture.
Yes.
But I think it's super interesting what you're talking about. And what the main thing I think is important here is when we use electricity, we drain the earth for vital energy.
Yes.
Yes. But the only way the earth to get back its energy is for us people to give attention to the earth and give earth love and things like that.
Yeah.
And that helps build up the vitality of the earth.
Yeah, this is what we can do at once. But what we have to do in future is to learn how the natural powers are dealing with energy. And they don't use any electricity. They use etheric powers. So we learned at school the laws why the apple is falling down from the tree.
Yes.
But now we have to learn why does it climb? How do things grow up? And this, the powers of levitation, this is the power of vital powers, and we can form a new science and new abilities of perception to get into to become masters of life powers. And this is the new power plant of the future.
Yes.
And everybody will do it. And we will do it in new forms of communities.
Fantastic. Okay, we have to end this. This is super interesting. We could talk 1 more hour.
Yes.
But you have other things to do.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming here and thanking Baldron.
Thank you.
That's been making the connections here. And you're coming back in the springtime to have courses in Norway.
Yes.
And I'll put, you have your own website. Which website should I put on the net?
Just Baldron.
And okay, the Baldron.
His one is in German. You're welcome to use his one, but
I think
for the courses in Norway, it's
okay. I'll just put Baldron, your website here. You could Baldron.com or
well, Baldron.com is the web shop. Baldron.org is the non-profit organization.
Yes. Okay. Do you have any last word you want to tell the world? You said everything already, so it's nothing. Yeah, I think I've gone through most of it.
I have one sentence.
Yeah.
Today I went to the Rathuset of Oslo. It was my first day of exploring Oslo.
Yeah.
And I looked at the signy of the town. Signy? The flag.
The seal.
The seal of Oslo.
Okay.
And I read the story for it, that there was a man who wanted to help a pregnant woman not to be caught by murders.
Okay.
And then he was shot down. And the murderers wanted to let vanish his body and took a big stone around his neck. And but he did not get under cover in the sea.
He didn't drown.
Yeah,
his body was still. You can still see
it was
the body.
not possible to hide the body,
okay.
And so people said this is a holy man. And when I read this, I was very touched by it. But then I had the question: what happened to the pregnant woman?
Yes.
And this is what we research. We are researching the female